We're going to reflect on SD 46.8, the Raja Naga Sutta, the discourse on the royal bull elephant, A4.144. This sutta is also called Chatuka Naga Sutta because it comes from the Book of Fours in the Anguttara Nikaya. The fourth discourse on the bull elephant. And the theme here is the four qualities of a truly worthy monastic or renunciant. Now there's another sutta, which is actually the following sutta in volume SD 46, and it is in chapter 9. The sutta is called Naga Sutta, and the reference for the sutta is A5.140. These two suttas talk about have the same theme. In fact, they also have the same parable. They are identical except for the Naga Sutta has a fifth quality. So I will talk about the Naga Sutta next week. So today we'll reflect on the Raja Sutta. So you find in today's sutta, Raja Naga Sutta, there are only four qualities, and whereas in the other sutta you have five qualities. So you may wonder when you look at these two suttas, and maybe there are other suttas which have 6 qualities, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 11 qualities, and so on. You might be wondering which sutta is more complete. Is there a complete sutta? Well, I think we can settle with a simple answer and say there is no complete sutta. And yet, every sutta that you study with mindfulness completes itself, or is even complete in itself if you reflect on it and you practice it. Because from that one sutta, you begin to link, you begin to understand the other suttas. This is based on the teaching of right view. As long as we are not awakened, all of our views are provisional. All of our views, they are like rungs on a ladder, like the steps of a ladder, or even the steps of a flight of stairs. You put one foot down and then you put the other foot up to the next level, and you go on like that. And every time you move forward, you got to lift up the other foot. So in other words, our spiritual progress, our even intellectual progress, happens through our letting go of past ideas. As we understand things better, we let go of our old ideas, we let go of our wrong views, we change our mind. It's okay to change your mind, because the mind is about change. The mind is change, and change is the rule of our life, is the change of the rule of everything. Change underlies everything that exists. So all the suttas somehow are provisional. In other words, when we study them, we have to find out what is this sutta talking about. And then we understand it, and we move on to another sutta, and then on to another. Sometimes we might not understand the sutta fully, but it's okay, we move on. We keep on moving on. And we glean some meaning and some understanding, some joy from here and there as we study the suttas. And then as you mature as a person, as an individual, you look back and you say, oh, now I understand this old sutta better. Now when you say I've understood something better, what you're doing is, what you have to do is you have to let go, or you are letting go of some old views, of some wrong views. Views are just like our breath. You breathe in, you hold a breath, and you hold a view, and then you breathe out, you let go of the views. That's how we progress. And this is the wonderful spirit of the parable of the raft, where the Buddha says we use the Dhamma as a raft to cross over the dangerous waters of ignorance and craving. So here you may see the suttas appear to be incomplete. Here there are 4 items, here 5 items, here 6 items, and so on. Even the dependent rising wheel, you have sometimes, very often you have 12, or sometimes you have less, 7, 5 even. So here again, the Buddha teaches the Dharma not mechanically. He teaches the Dhamma depending on the needs of the audience, on how ready the listener or the person is, how ready the practitioner is. So you will notice these suttas, they are records of the Buddha's teaching to different people. Now that the Buddha has passed away, the Dharma to which the Buddha awakened is still with us. So in that sense, the Buddha is still teaching us through the Dharma. It's just like a doctor. This doctor has discovered the cure, understood the nature of the disease, the cure of the disease, and he has laid out this way of how to prevent this disease from coming back, or if you caught this disease, this is how you overcome it. And he has even given us this medicine. And you don't need this doctor anymore. Another way of putting it is, even though he has passed away, this medicine is still with us in that sense. So the Buddha is like that. It's not that just because the Buddha has died, you must invent new Buddhas and start praying to new Buddhas and hope to go to some paradise far, far away. We don't need all that. Right here, right now, we can see the Dhamma, sanditthiko. Here and now, we awaken. Here and now, we are sitting under the Bodhi tree when we meditate. So when we look at all the suttas, incomplete as they appear, they are little pieces of jigsaw, and we fit them in bit by bit as we understand the suttas. So today we have the Raja Naga Sutta, which talks of the 4 qualities of a worthy monk, of a worthy renunciant. In other words, what makes someone truly worthy of the robe and the support that he gets as a monk or as a nun. It also means, how do we become a true practitioner? We adjust these teachings also for ourselves as lay people. The sutta starts right away with the Buddha saying, Bhikshus, a royal bull elephant that possesses 4 qualities is worthy of the king, of service to the king, and is reckoned as a limb or an emblem of the king. What are the 4? Here, Bhikshus, the royal bull elephant is a listener, a destroyer, a forbearer, and a goer. So in this sutta we see the Buddha using the imagery of an elephant. Siddhartha Gautama was from the Kshatriya clan, and they are very familiar with elephants. And he was a very wise person even when he was young, since young. So he's using this well-known imagery as a parable, the elephant. And here, it's no ordinary elephant, it's a royal elephant, worthy of the king, and it's also a war elephant, very much like the tanks in today's army, if you like. So here is the summary, the syllabus, or even the thesis. The Buddha says, okay, this elephant has got 4 qualities. He is a listener, a destroyer, a forbearer, and a goer. 4 very simple words, but used in very beautiful, very instructive ways. Then the Buddha goes on to explain each of these 4 qualities. So let's look at the first quality of this royal bull elephant. And how bhikshus is the royal bull elephant a listener, sota, a listener. Notice here, there are a few Pali words for listener, right? We all know that the word savaka also translates as listener, but normally that's a literal translation. We normally translate savaka as disciple. Okay, one of the saints especially. So, but here the word is sota, literally means someone who listens. He's not yet a saint, or he can be a saint as a broad term here. Here, bhikshus, whatever task the elephant trainer gives it, whether it has done it before or not, the royal elephant makes that its purpose, pays attention to it, fully directs its mind to it with ready ear, listens to it. This bhikshu is the royal bull. Thus, bhikshus is the royal bull elephant, a listener. Okay, so it's very obedient, it's very intelligent. So this is the first quality of the royal elephant. Of course, you may be wondering, so what has the wonderful quality of elephant has to do with the Dharma? Well, the Buddha is preparing for us, preparing the Indian audience, if you like, beginning with something they understand, something to catch their mind, so to speak. Beginning with something they know, and the Buddha is going to lead them to something they do not know, to the Dharma. Now the second quality of the royal elephant. And how, bhikshus, is the royal elephant bull a destroyer, hunter? Here, bhikshus, when the royal bull elephant has gone into battle or is in the midst of battle, it destroys elephant and mahout, it destroys chariot and charioteer, it destroys the infantry. This bhikshus is the royal bull elephant. Thus, bhikshu is the royal bull elephant, a destroyer. So here we're talking about a war elephant. So here is the imagery of destruction, power destruction. And how bhikshus is the royal bull elephant, a forbearer, kanta. Notice the words, they're all kind of very simple and beautiful, 2 syllables. Sota, hanta, kanta. So how is this elephant a forbearer? Right? Here, bhikshus, when the royal bull elephant has gone into battle, it endures being hit by spears, by swords, and by arrows, and endures the sounds and din of the beri, which is a conical drum, cymbals, conch shells, and dindimas, small drums. So in war, these are instruments used to signal the army or to confuse the other side, to frighten them. But this elephant is trained, it's not afraid of all this, very calm, intelligent. Then the next quality, the 4th quality of the royal bull elephant. And how bhikshus is the royal bull elephant? A goer, ganta. So here again you see the words are double syllable. The first one is sota, then you have hanta, kanta, and then ganta. So this is the 4th quality, ganta meaning goer. Here bhikshus, in whichever direction the elephant trainer sends the royal bull elephant, whether or not it has gone there before, it quickly goes there. This bhikshus is the royal bull elephant, a goer. So it's very intelligent, travels fast. The royal bull elephant, bhikshus, that possesses these 4 qualities is worthy of the king, of service to the king, and is reckoned as a limb or an emblem of the king. So that's the worldly side of it. That is the parable. Now the Buddha is going to use something familiar to the people, something familiar to us, and now bring us to something on a higher level, the Dharma. Then the Buddha starts off by showing the change in direction to the Dharma, by saying, in the same way, even so, evameva, bhikshus, a monk who possesses 4 qualities is worthy of offerings, worthy of hospitality, worthy of gifts, worthy of salutation with the lotus palms, a supreme field of merit for the world. What are the 4? Here bhikshus, a monk is a listener, a destroyer, a forbearer, and a goer. So the 4 very same qualities. Okay, you have sota, hanta, kanta, ganta. This time the qualities are applied to the monk. We can also apply this to ourselves in due course. Let's look at it in a moment. You can reflect on it. How do I practice this quality as a lay practitioner after studying the sutta? Okay, let's look at the first quality of this worthy monk. Section 9. And how bhikshus is a monk a listener, sota. Here bhikshus, when the Dhamma Vinaya, the teaching and the discipline declared by the Tathagata is being taught, he makes it his purpose. He makes the Dhamma Vinaya his purpose, his aim, goal. Pays attention to it, fully directs his mind to it. With ready ear listens to it. Thus bhikshus is the monk a listener. So the monks pay full attention when the Dhamma is being taught. You can even go further. He's very interested in the Dhamma, so he's always looking for teachers to listen, to teach the Dhamma to him. He's like young Rahula, who gets up every morning, it is said, and takes a handful of sand in his hand and makes this kind of resolution or aspiration and say, may I today learn as much Dhamma as there is sand in my hand. Of course, we do not know the amount of sand in Rahula's hand. It means a lot of. So with this kind of imagery, we have a good idea on the nature of numbers in early Buddhism. There's a lot of hyperbole here. In other words, well, I want to learn a lot of Dhamma. How much Dhamma? As much sand as there is in Rahula's hand. You can't count the Dhamma anyway. Then the second quality of this worthy monk. And how bhikshus is among a destroyer, hanta. Here bhikshus, a monk does not tolerate any sensual thought that has a reason. He abandons, dispels, destroys, makes an end of it, brings it to non-existence. He does not tolerate any thought of ill will. That is the reason. He abandons, dispels, destroys, makes an end of it, brings it to non-existence. He does not tolerate any thought of violence. That is the reason. He abandons, dispels, destroys, makes an end of it, brings it to non-existence. In this, thus bhikshus is the monk a destroyer. Here, what does the monk destroy? He destroys any thought of sensual desire, ill will, violence. This is called right thought. So here, in other words, the monk is very mindful, always watching what kind of thought rises in his mind. If the negative thoughts, he pushes them away. So this is a kind of preparing for meditation, if you like, this kind of action. So it's not just while meditating, he keeps his mind pure, but even outside of meditation, he practices mindfulness to keep his mind clear of negative thoughts. Now the third quality, section 11. And how bhikshus is among a forbearer, kanta. Here bhikshus among bears heat, cold, hunger, thirst, the touch of mosquitoes, flies, the wind, the sun and creeping creatures. Endures the ways of words, ill-spoken, unwelcome, and the reason bodily feelings that are painful, racking, sharp, piercing, repugnant, disagreeable, deadly. Das bhikshus is the monk, a forbearer. So here the monk is patient in terms of the weather. In other words, no matter what the weather is like, he prepares himself, he practices the Dhamma, his meditation. He endures even whatever words people may tell him, may scold him. Sometimes as a monk goes to strange places, people might not like monks, so he still is calm and peaceful. He's not someone who quarrels with others. And whatever painful feelings that arise within himself, even when he's sick, he's calm and endures it. In that sense, he's someone who endures external pain, internal pain, unwelcome words, and so on. He's someone who is strong, patient with himself. And the fourth quality, the monk, like the elephant, is a goer, ganta. And how bhikshus is a monk, a goer? Here bhikshus, a monk arrives in those quarters or directions where in this long journey, meaning in our life, he has never been before. That is to say, the stealing of all formations, the relinquishing of all substrates or acquisitions, the destruction of craving, the fading away of lust, the ending of suffering, nirvana. He quickly himself arrives at this. This bhikshu is that. Das bhikshu is the monk, a goer. So in other words, wherever this monk is, wherever he lives, he practices in such a way so that he overcomes suffering and attains nirvana. That's the purpose of being a monk. Among bhikshus who possesses these four qualities is worthy of offerings, worthy of hospitality, worthy of gifts, worthy of salutation with the lotus palms, a supreme field of merit for the world. So here we are. The Buddha is reminding the monks of who they are, what they have to do. They have to be good listeners so that they become true listeners. They have to be sota so that they become savaka. In other words, they should love the suttas, love the Dhamma, read the teachings. This is very important. Sometimes we can live in a big monastery, in a very famous monastery, and we are one of the important monks there, belonging to the inner circle even. But if we lose touch with the sutta and with the Dhamma, we will get ourselves into a lot of serious trouble, especially if we are important monks. So the Dhamma is a leveler, so to speak. Everyone has to study it, look at it, to be reminded of what being a monk is about, so that we don't make mistakes, we don't fall into errors. The situation of falling into error can arise any time. Suddenly there's a windfall. Someone makes a big donation to the monastery, to the temple, and we see so much money and we get lost. We get confused, our minds get defiled, and we have no Dharma to protect us. Then Mara will push us ahead, and we'll just drop into this rut, into this hole of suffering. And sometimes we never get out. So we have to prepare ourselves. We have to be good listeners of the sutta. We don't just listen, we don't just read, but we listen to the suttas, meaning try to understand its meaning, practice it, feel joyful about it. And if you are truly joyful, it's highly unlikely you'll ever break any precepts. Then with this kind of strength, you are able to destroy negative states, because you're strong in good states. And with this kind of two qualities, you are able to withstand external discomforts, internal discomforts, people who are nasty to us with words. And wherever we go, whether we're a monk or layman, we know the aim of the Buddha's teaching. That is to work towards awakening, to practice the Dharma so that we at least become stream winners in this life for lay people, and at least become non-returners in this life as a monk, right? Or even as a monk, if you find becoming a non-returner is difficult, at least to be a stream winner. So all these four qualities also apply to lay people, right? So if you're a lay person, you should be a good listener. You should push away negative mental states. Be patient with yourself so that you give Dharma its priority. And finally, wherever you are, wherever you go, whatever you do, you never forget the true purpose in life, where true happiness lies. And in that way, you will never be lost. That the Dharma is always there to guide you. The Dharma is always there to protect you. As the Dhammapada says, Dhammam Have, Dhammo Have Rakati Dhammacharim. The Dharma protects the Dhammafarer. So now let us close with a short reflection. As long as we study the suttas, we begin to see what we need to practice, we understand better what the Buddha has taught, and in that way we are also guided in the right direction, because we first feel the joy of this touch with the Dharma. When we are filled with joy, we are less likely to do something bad. Reflecting in this way is very good, wonderful, good karma. For the power of such good karma, may we bless with wisdom and courage to aspire to attain at least stream winning in this life itself. In this moment of peace, let us send out our loving kindness to all the beings here. May they be well and happy. To everyone here, may they be well and happy. And to those who are near and dear to us, those who have been kind to us, may they be well and happy. And also we send out our loving kindness to people who have difficulty with the Dharma, who are struggling with the Dharma, or who still have not found the Dharma, that they may find the Dharma and awaken in this life itself. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.